Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the inaugural Coffee Corner. The idea of the Coffee Corner is that you're going to be throwing questions at me during the week, and the questions could be anything property related, anything Sharia compliance related, anything about me, anything you'd like to know about business perhaps, and during my coffee break, I'll pick up my team. Will refine those questions and have a few of those ready for me to answer. That's what the Coffee Corner is about. Okay, without further ado, we'll go straight into the questions for today. So the first question is, do you feel London is a good starting point for first-time investors? Really interesting question. Thank you for the question. For first-time investors, London, is it good? No. Why? It's because it's purely unaffordable for first-time investors in the main. Just to give you an idea of how development works and how economies grow. So where you have a city and with a certain growth in population all around the world, especially in major cities, so there is an organic expansion of the city, and the people who are visionaries will buy in strategic places before the expansion happens. So that's where you get like crazily profitable results, and you could double your money with the right move. So I have two favorite regions of investment personally myself. They can be regarded as Greater London and outskirts of London and wider London, and those two regions are Essex and Kent in number 1 and 2. They're my two favorite regions. That's your first answer. So the second question is, have you always been in properties, and if not, what did you do prior? So the answer is no. I didn't have a sugar daddy. I started from the ground all the way up. So my story in a fast track form is that I grew up as a young man with confused identity, coming from a Muslim household, growing up amongst non-Muslims. And I was largely underachieving in my very early, younger age at secondary school, and I left school with nothing. I failed all my GCSEs, and I was meandering along at college until something drastic happened in my life. My father died when I was age 18. I was the eldest in my family. I had to take charge. I had to lead, and that was the moment I turned to Islam. At the same time, so. From that point onwards and up until that point, I'd done everything. We're talking about working at McDonald's, working on a market stall, working as a courier driver, working as a taxi driver, newspaper packaging, all sorts. And then when I finally decided on a career path, by the way, I did my GCSE maths at the age of 24, I decided to go for teaching, and I was on a fast track program in teaching. And from teaching, I became a school inspector. So from age 16, where I was a school failure, age 32, I became a judge of schools, a qualified Ofsted inspector. And it was around that moment where I had also transitioned into business, and I'd made my first property move exactly 10 years ago. The next question is, what books are you currently reading? The current title that I'm reading is the 11 Leadership Qualities that Changed the World. Muhammad. The book that I'm currently reading is Muhammad, 11 Leadership Qualities that Changed the World. This is a really ironic thing, because I'm at a phase in my life and at a phase in my career where, at a phase of my journey, where I'm having to, I'm at the sharp end of having to learn leadership qualities and become a very effective leader. So I'm doing a lot of reading around leadership. And the best that I've read up until this time is Extreme Ownership by Jacko Willenick. And I didn't think I'll be able to find a better leadership book. To be honest, it was really good. It was a really good, one of the best reads I've had in a while. But this was a book my wife gifted me about 2 years ago, about the time that actually the author was about to pass away. I think it was about 2 years ago. And his story, actually, he wrote this, subhanAllah, on his deathbed. And that story alone meant a lot of these books sold. But it's quite frankly a remarkable read. Where we're talking about leadership and perfection in leadership, you cannot get better leader than the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself. And this is testified, but not only the Muslim communities, but it's acknowledged by communities all around the world. And to have it dissected and broken down into the leadership traits that he had and that we could develop to become a good reader. Is really. I put posts up of interesting pages when I read on my WhatsApp. I get people often asking me about what I'm reading, and when I give them the title, especially when I've given them the title of this book, the common response is "Subhanallah! Wow, how amazing!" And that's it for this week. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Please keep sending your questions in. And we'll get to them at the next session. Thank you very much.